Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Layla, and I have the pleasure of introducing another nominee for the Board of Directors for the .NET Foundation, and that's Dennie DeClerq. Dennie, would you like to tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Hey, hello, I'm Dennie DeClerq. I'm using .NET since I was the beginning of .NET, so I was, I think, 18 years old, average. I don't want to count. Um, and I and I'm a person of the, let's say, the neurodiversity spectrum. I am a person with autism. I like to identify myself as a person with autism, not as an autistic person. It's very personal. What I really do is is closing the gap or making the intersection between IT, so
Mhm.
deep developing, and the social industry. Um, there is a lot of expertise already in IT, loads of expertise, and there is loads of expertise in the social industry, loads of expertise. But still, there are challenges. So it's not the the need for knowledge in the industries. The need that we have right now is breaching the is breaking the walls between the industries, breaking the silos, and mixing social industry and IT industry and other maybe medical industry and governing industry and other productions because we at this time we have a very siloed way of tech, and that's not always working anymore. Not in tech, it's just a siloed way of living, of community. And I think we will have major breakthroughs to help people if we bringing skills intersectional, cross-industrial, how you will call it. And that's what I do as an MVP, as a Microsoft MVP. My talk at conferences are nearly all the time, so way more than most of the time, about also a bit tech and social industry mix it. Sometimes the biggest part is tech, like how, for example, I explain how you use a Microsoft Cognitive Services and Microsoft Blazor. By the way, I love Microsoft Blazor. But then so a big tech part, but then that will not be, if I speak at conferences, that will not be your typical line of business app in Blazor. No, we're going to use Blazor how to, for example, um, maximize the quality of life for people with disabilities, like making very really accessible apps in Blazor. So it will be tech, but with the social part of it. The other thing, I have really social talks, like being a person with autism in tech or anxiety in tech. But then, of course, the major stuff will be social industry stuff, but there will be a link to tech also. So I love to play with with the edge of both industries and where they are intersecting each other.
That's great. Thank you so much for sharing. And it's really good work that you do, making and raising awareness of accessibility in tech. It's so very, very important, and understanding neurodiversity as well. And just, as you say, breaking down those barriers. So that's great to hear. Now, I have a couple of questions for you, Dennie. And my first one is going to be that if you are elected to the board of directors, what would you like to accomplish in in your 2-year term?
So two things, and I have two really important focuses. And the first one is um, making that people in diversity, neurodiversity, but also other diversities, even that I am in neurodiversity, it's already diversity. So I, at conferences, if I speak, I also attend a lot of talks about, and I do have some knowledge about all the diversities. Of course, there are domain experts or diversity experts per per field, but I think just bringing more diversity into open source contributing, that's too less. Um, but even it's also on my side, for example, for me as a person with autism, I am afraid sometimes to, not sometimes, I am afraid to commit to, for example, to open source reports. Maybe I will be punished with bad jargon or heavy comments on if I make, example, a better way of coding if there can be a better way of coding. By the way, I
Mhm.
also talked about this in my talks. But the same is for everywhere. For example, language diversity. Sometimes there are people who have loads of tech skills, but are not native English speaking.
Yeah.
I think that I don't think my vision is open source and contributing to open source. There need to be more safety feeling. We don't need to catch up on, oh, you made a stupid typo. It's not it's not that bad as years ago. Years ago, and the .NET, the foundation, I think, even don't exist. It was common and open source. There was really, if you don't know it, stay off, or even just Google it if you don't know. And I think there really should be even a bigger um, ratio of acceptance, and not anybody can be an expert at the beginning. And even if you are an expert in something, expert means that you know a lot of things of something, but not a lot about other things. By example, for me, let's say, take my example, let's say I can tell myself an accessibility expert. I know way what to do in accessibility. But if I need to make for this some thing in the backend, or some with proxies or with services, I'm not saying that I'm sure that I will have the best expert in code style and the best performance. And then there needs to be a safe space. And if you do it that way, that should not work. No. The conversation. The conversation, if there is an open source about how bodies envision something, how everybody codes, I believe my vision is everybody codes the things that they envision. So um, thing in codes is just the result of how they envision. And if two people have a different vision, so also a different way of coding, how can we provide a safe space to have a safe, open communication about why methodology A is better than methodology B? And maybe there need to be a technology C where both find their things in. So that's really what I see myself, and that's for the whole diversity. So that's the first thing, and I said two things, two pilots that I want to achieve. So that's the first big thing. The other thing I need to see more open source project that targets end users with disabilities. Way too less software is written to enhance, to make the life better for people with disabilities. There should be more softwares, apps, websites, APIs specifically written to help to improve the quality of life of those people. They are still left behind if we are taking about modern society. And then I'm not thinking about autism of neurodiversity. I really think all about people with disabilities in that field. So I have two specific silos. In that silo, I speak about people who are not programmers and users, like people with Down syndrome, people with cognitive limitations, with cognitive disabilities. Those people, they cannot use most of the software, apps, websites that are there right now, but they need it. Sometimes governments, for example, require that they use software, otherwise they are excluded for stuff. So really, yeah, for them it's even way worse than people who are in tech with the neurodiversity or disability, or you call it. But for those people, they really need to be more focused on accessible software for more people. Also, I speak at a lot of conferences, and how less people, how little people that I see that really understand what is a learning disability, what is a cognitive disability, what is digital illiteracy, what is illiteracy in general. Okay, so we are the experts that need to build software for the future, and we don't understand those social concepts. So how can we think about that software should be adjusted? So yeah, those are my big two pillars and my big two passions. And I can talk hours about how and why to do this, but I don't have hours. So, but I think you know what I mean.
I got there. There's a lot of kindness coming through. So leading with kindness and
Yeah,
just having awareness of people
and
who
knowledge.
are different from us, and and that's like each person has their individual stuff. So I think we definitely got what you were saying there, Denny. So thank you so much for that insight and sharing your passions. So I have another question. So if you do get elected to the board, what skills will you bring? So we've heard about your passions and what you want to be impactful with, but what about you and your skills that you're going to bring to the board and your experiences?
In my board, I will specifically bring skills not from the IT sector, so really skills from the social industry. So really knowledge about, for example, people with Down syndrome, people with autism, people with other diversity, not only neurodiversity, because I study about this in my free time, skills about safe communication, open, safe communication. That will be my biggest skill set. And of course, there will be some accessibility tech skills too, because that's my tech expertise. So there will be some technical accessibility too, of course, loads, loads.
Perfect. So those are my questions, Dennie. Are there any other things that you would like to share with the viewers or just mention?
I think everybody that it doesn't matter which diversity group, and all those people, all the diversity groups that have the feeling the open source world is not there for me yet, vote on me because I am the person that really want to change this. And also the people who have in their family, in their environment, in their local communities or the communities of people that they know, people with disabilities struggling using the internet, using mobile software, modern software, everything. Vote on me because I'm really somebody who wants to change that. So all those people need to vote on me, and it will be magical the next 2 years.
Well, thank you so much, Dennie, for sharing your thoughts and your goals for the .NET Foundation. We really appreciate that. So best of luck in your campaign, and I hope to see you on the board in
I
the
hope it
future.
too.
So thank you
Dreaming
very
and
much.
believing.
Absolutely. So thank you very much, Dennie. And thank you, viewers, for coming and hanging out with us and learning a little bit more about what Dennie would like to do on the board of directors. So thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.